In a moment that could have been scripted for a surreal Hollywood comedy, Leonardo DiCaprio found himself stunned into silence. He was mid-stride, weaving through a lively crowd in 2025, still commanding attention with that signature, effortless charm, now enhanced by distinguished streaks of gray in his hair. Fans of all ages surrounded him, screaming teenagers, millennials waving phones for selfies, and admirers who'd grown up watching his evolution from teen heartthrob to Oscar winner. But then, from somewhere near knee level, a small voice broke through the noise. "I loved The Wolf of Wall Street," said a wide-eyed child, no older than 12. DiCaprio stopped, caught off guard. His face flickered with disbelief, confusion, and a touch of amusement. How was a kid this young watching one of the most controversial R-rated films of the 2010s? And more importantly, what does it say about the kind of content younger generations are being drawn to today? Still frozen, DiCaprio squinted, clearly thrown off. The kid beamed up at him, braces flashing with confidence far beyond his years. "Yo, Leo, Wolf of Wall Street was sick." The actor half laughed, trying to process the moment. "Like, how old are you?" he asked. The boy shrugged. No big deal. Maybe 12, tops. Yet here he was, singing praises of a film best known for its unflinching portrayal of drug-fueled Wall Street chaos, graphic adult scenes, and moral collapse. Released in 2013, the movie was a cinematic whirlwind of excess, greed, and wild behavior that made even Scarface seem tame. And somehow, this pint-sized fan wasn't just aware of it. He revered it. But let's not forget, this is a hard R-rated film. We're talking Jonah Hill's prosthetic scene played for shock and laughs, chaotic drug binges aboard luxury yachts, penthouse parties that spiral into adult-only mayhem, and FBI raids crashing through the walls of unchecked greed. There's a level of reckless abandon in The Wolf of Wall Street that's both mesmerizing and deeply disturbing. Child and property endangerment? That's barely the beginning. So when kids, actual kids, start quoting Jordan Belfort's smooth-talking mantras back to Leonardo DiCaprio in real life, it's not just surprising. It begs the question, are parents simply not paying attention anymore? Has YouTube's algorithm become an unfiltered gateway, feeding up wolf clips like they're harmless pop culture nuggets? Or maybe Gen Z, and now even Gen Alpha, are just wired differently, hungry for the unfiltered, chaotic energy of Belfort's world. To understand how we got here, let's rewind. It's 2013, and The Wolf of Wall Street bursts into cinemas like a high-speed Lamborghini running on pure adrenaline. Directed by Martin Scorsese and powered by DiCaprio's own production company, the film was never meant to play it safe. It was 3 hours of cinematic madness, part satire, part documentary of excess, based on the true-life downfall of stockbroker-turned-convict Jordan Belfort. Does the line between entertainment and glorification get blurry when real-life debauchery is turned into spectacle? And what happens when younger audiences can't tell the difference? "Sell me this pen," Belfort growls at the screen, and the world leans in. Viewers couldn't get enough. The film wasn't just a box office success. It was a cultural earthquake. $406 million worldwide, 5 Academy Award nominations, and a legacy of viral quotes and social media memes that refuse to die. Margot Robbie's breakout as Naomi became iconic. Jonah Hill's chaotic sidekick antics made headlines. And DiCaprio? He disappeared into Belfort with an intensity that was seductive, disturbing, and unforgettable. Critics called it a career-defining performance, some even claiming it was his finest work since Titanic. Rolling Stone praised it as a masterclass in excess, a raw, unfiltered look at ambition gone haywire. The film was originally so explicit, it nearly earned an NC-17 rating and had to be trimmed to barely qualify for an R. So why is it, over a decade later, that kids barely out of elementary school are quoting scenes originally meant to make adults uncomfortable? Is it fascination, rebellion, or a mirror held up to our increasingly blurred media landscape? The MPAA didn't mince words. The Wolf of Wall Street earned its hard R for graphic nudity, relentless drug use, and language that doesn't let up. In short, not for kids. But it's 2025 now, and Leonardo DiCaprio, 50 and grizzled in the best way, is doing press for a gritty new film with Benicio del Toro, another heavyweight of adult cinema. When Variety asks which of his movies vibe with the TikTok generation, Leo's response is part amusement, part alarm. Some little kids come up to me and go, "I loved Wolf of Wall Street." He laughs nervously, but you can hear the confusion underneath. "You saw that? How old are you?" he recalls asking. Del Toro laughs, but Leo's stuck on it. These aren't teenagers sneaking into a late show. These are kids, preteens, quoting Belfort like he's a Marvel character. What's happening here? Are parental controls just broken? Or is this a symptom of a generation raised by algorithms? To understand the disconnect, zoom out. Leo, born in 1974, came up through Hollywood the hard way. Growing Pains, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Oscar-nominated at 19. Titanic made him a household name, but instead of coasting, he pivoted. Gritty roles, dark stories, Scorsese collaborations. By Wolf, he was 39, both star and producer, fully immersed in Belfort's frenzied, drug-fueled spiral. "I wanted to push boundaries," he said in 2013, defending the film's raw excess. Push, he did. The movie's 3-hour sprint through greed and madness became a cultural juggernaut. But satire or not, its most outrageous scenes have lived on not in theaters, but in TikTok edits and YouTube supercuts. Are we turning a sharp critique of capitalism into glorified chaos? Can a generation raised on 15-second clips truly grasp the depth of what they're watching? Context is everything. Gen Z, and now even Gen Alpha, grew up in a world where content has no real age limits. Netflix doesn't check IDS. TikTok serves up whatever gets views. Belfort's infamous crawl to his Ferrari, Margot Robbie's breakout moments, and Jonah Hill's over-the-top scenes have become viral currency, stripped of irony, satire, or consequence. What once shocked audiences now entertains children. So what happens when media meant to disturb gets reduced to digital spectacle? Are we witnessing a pop culture shift, or just the natural evolution of how stories survive in a post-gatekeeper world? On algorithm-driven platforms, kids don't need fake IDs. They just need a swipe. Unfiltered content is fed directly to them, often without parents realizing until it's already viral. Compared to Leo's youth, where sneaking RoboCop on VHS meant slipping past a video store clerk, today's equivalent is an 11-year-old catching Wolf of Wall Street clips auto-played after a Spider-Man binge. Sure, Leo's no moral authority. His eco-activist reputation has long clashed with paparazzi photos of yachts and supermodels. But he's never once encouraged kids to watch Wolf. His surprise feels real. A 50-year-old trying to process a world where preteens casually quote scenes about federal indictments and drug-fueled chaos. How much of this is on tech platforms, and how much is on the adults not keeping up? Can we expect kids to self-filter when the systems around them won't? Now, compare Leo to his peers. Brad Pitt's Fight Club also has a cult teen following, but its gritty violence leans philosophical, not explicit. Wolf, on the other hand, is saturated with raw adult content, from boardroom benders to penthouse spirals. It's a tougher case for accidental family viewing, but the appeal isn't just the spectacle, it's the anti-hero. Gen Z, and younger, have embraced morally messy figures. Joker, Rue from Euphoria, even Jordan Belfort. They see chaos not just as entertainment, but as a rebellion against a world they didn't break, but now must survive. Leo, who once snuck Taxi Driver at 14, gets it. And maybe that's why the whole thing rattles him more than he expected. Is this just another rebellious phase, or a sign that we've lost control of who gets to shape cultural heroes? And if Belfort is the blueprint, what happens when no one's telling them it's satire?